mine.
Oh.
That's mine. Leave it out there. That's why I left it there. They wanted to go off. Thank you. All right. Feel free to ask any questions at the end of the presentation. And Milton, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Milton Leblanc. I'm a senior procurement specialist with the Department of Procurement Services, City of Chicago. I've been here, about 4 years now. I was a procurement officer in the City of Orlando, Broward County in Florida, and prior to that to New York City. So I've spent a lot of time in these things here. We do things a little differently in Chicago, so that's why we go into this PowerPoint presentation here, basically on how to respond to an RFP. I think we should know who is in here. Just a couple of you tell me where you are, where you're from, what firm you represent.
I'm sorry. My name is.
Yes, on.
My name is Travis. I represent Singh and Associates. It's an engineering consulting firm.
Okay, consulting firm.
Yeah.
Great to know. Yes,
My name is Daintree McFadden, and I'm on the onset of a business.
okay, great. You don't have to.
My name is Bob Kloss. I represent Interactive Business Systems, an IT consulting firm.
Services.
Hi, Kevin Fuhr from Hanson Professional Services. We're engineering consultants.
I'm Callie Strakota from RM Chin & Associates.
Margaret Perez, founder and CEO of Ideal Fitness Designs. We create, update, and maintain fitness facilities.
Great. Facilities.
Hello, I'm Antonio. I'm with AAA Home Experts. We remodel, refurbish, and sell homes.
Hi, I'm Wendy Whitcomb with Unisys. We are an IT technology firm.
Hi, I'm Carolyn Gothard, and I'm here with Wendy, Unisys.
Amanda Gooch. I'm actually working in DPS, but I'm new to DPS, so I'm sitting in.
Okay. Come on, choose the little interns.
Oh.
Yeah, we're interns. Keith.
Harper, Louise.
Okay, I just want to get a sense what kind of businesses you represent so I can target the presentation more likely, mostly what you would like to do. Okay, first thing we're going to look at the PowerPoint. The first quadrant talks about finding bid opportunities for the city of Chicago. And bids that are valued over $100,000, and RFPs are publicly advertised in Chicago Sun-Times. The newspaper, Chicago Sun-Times, every day you see different bids that are available to apply for. Weekly, Chicago Sun-Times, yes, the actual newspaper. It's also online, Chicago Sun-Times. Okay, the bids are also available on our website, which is on your PowerPoint here. You can go there and see what's available. Okay, they're also posted here. This is the bid and bond room. You can find them here. Okay, and it will give you all the information about any specific bid or RFP that the city have put out there. It's important that we know the difference between a bid and an RFP. A bid, usually the city wants to buy something specific, like chairs. It will be very specific. I want 20 chairs, $20 per chair. I want them by December 20th. Okay, and the bids are usually sealed. You submit your bid. When it's open, the lowest bidder gets awarded a contract. Okay, a bid works, lowest bidder. City puts specifically what they want, what we want. You bid based on what we want, the specifications. The lowest bidder wins the bid. RFP is different. RFP will give you detailed specifications of what we would like to have. Okay, because the city is not an expert in everything. So we say what we would like to have, and then you have to submit a response based on what direction we give you or what we would like to have. Okay, it's also tell you about specifications with what we would like to have. We tell you generally, this is what we want. We want a system that can that can support 20,000 users at a time. That's what we want. We don't know how to do it. Use the expert. You tell us, you know, we have this system or that system or a different system in order to tell us exactly how you're going to provide that for us. And the difference with the RFP also, price is not the only determining factor. We don't go for the lowest price response. We go for the lowest, for the response that is better, will benefit the city based on an evaluation committee review, okay? We put out an RFP, we specify what we want, you respond based on what we want, and you tell us, basically, the best way to do it, because we're looking towards you, the expert, to tell us, basically, the best way to do it. But then we look at all the proposals that are submitted, and we have an evaluation committee that reviews the proposals and chooses the vendor who will benefit, based on the evaluation committee review, who will benefit the city best, price, terms, et cetera, okay? So bid, lowest bidder, RFP, best quality, we call it, okay? Those are the major differences. That's on the second quadrant here on the PowerPoint. You also use an RFP versus bid. I'm supposed to be using this. Okay, Jackie? I just press this? Okay. I'm supposed to be moving? Okay. Did I press the wrong button? Yes, no. There we go. Was that you or me? Okay, please. Thank you. Thank you. Come in. Okay, so basically, B is an RFP. I'm going to give you a sample of an RFP. So, make more sense what I'm talking about. This is a request for proposal that was awarded recently. And the city is moving for e-procurement, so we will not be issuing hard copy, paper copy of RFP anymore. So the reason I tell you now, might be obsolete in a couple months. But it will be the same format, it will just be online that you have to submit the responses. And you look at this document online instead of hard copy, okay? So that's the big change on this. You are. Okay. Okay, the sample RFP, in the cover page, or when you go on the website, the first page will tell us, the first page will say basic information, right? Name of the RFP. Thank you. Name of the RFP. The procurement person responsible in the middle of the page. We have the name of the CPO, which is Shannon Andrews. Will be attention, this was my RFP, so my name will be here. And we usually have a pre-proposal conference, which is before the RFP is due. The RFP due date usually at the bottom of the page. Here was May 18. So pre-proposal conference is when we invite vendors in to just explain to them the specific purpose of the RFP. We entertain questions from vendors, okay? So we publish the RFP first, and then we have a pre-proposal conference where you can come in and ask us specific questions before you respond to the RFP. Pre-proposal conferences are not mandatory, but the city encourages attendance because there you meet other vendors in your same area, your same field of expertise, and we encourage you to join together. Maybe together you can work something better. 2 or 3 vendors, joint ventures, partnership, whatever means you have to get together with someone else to submit a proposal to the RFP. It is important to follow the RFP to the letter because the penalty, not actually a penalty, if you fail to do so, it means that your RFP will not be reviewed, okay? And that's a steep price to pay because you might spend all this time preparing this particular response, and then you're missing page, you didn't follow directions, and then you miss out on a potential city contract. It might be for 2, 3, 5 years, and 2, 3, 5 years options. So it's important to follow the RFP format and document to the letter, okay? The proposal format. So the city decided, in this case, we wanted to hire a firm to provide parking enforcement services. And the firm would come and submit their RFP, their proposals, and then the city will go through them and employ the people you see writing tickets in the street, directing traffic, okay? So that's what this RFP was about, okay? On the way it says, page 2, it's the RFP proposal format. I'm going to disregard everything that says about paper proposals. I don't think we're accepting those anymore, very rare occasions, okay? So everything is now electronically, okay? So the second part on page 2, the bottom of the page says, your electronic proposals, which is a response to the RFP, must be word searchable, okay? We must be able to be word searchable. That everybody got that? Okay. Section of the proposal must be separated by tab. We must be able to see by tabs which section we're looking at, okay? A redacted proposal must be submitted. Anybody know what a redacted proposal is? Redacted proposal, okay? So, I'm sorry? Like Mueller's report on Trump? Something like that. Redacted proposal, you submit to us your proposal as we request here. Redacted proposal is the proposal where you take out all personal information out. So if you have your CEO in the proposal, and you have the CEO's home address, take it out. If you have somebody's telephone number, take it out. If you have social security numbers, take it out. So a redacted proposal will have all the information that you don't want the public to know. Because once after the RFP has awarded the contract, all the proposals are posted online. Okay, we're very transparent. You can see who applied, who got awarded, so the proposal are online. So we want you to give us a proposal that is redacted without personal information from anyone in there, okay? That's important. That was on page 2. I'm moving this. I'm doing something wrong. Okay, we tried. All right, on page 3, top of page 3, right? Talk about the proposal content. Now you saw that you need a cover letter. A cover letter is important. The cover letter must contain a contact person. You have yes, right, page 3, okay, proposal content. The cover letter must contain the information about the contact person, number and usually email address. That is important. Sometimes people forget to put in that information in a cover letter, and then the person has to dig out, find out who submitted this, when, where, and what time. And if there's a discrepancy in your proposal, like you forgot to put in the signature page, forgot to be notarized, having your information cover letter will make you resolve it very quickly. We can just call you up and say, hey, submit this. Okay, you forgot the signature page, you forgot something. So the cover letter is an important part of the proposal. It's not something you just do extra. It's an integral part of the proposal you're going to submit. Okay? We also want an executive summary. A summary of the people who head your organization. Okay? We want to have that. That's important. And the critical part are the professional qualifications and special experience of respondent and team members. So if we put out a proposal, an RFP for, I don't know, repairing bridges, the people that are going to be working on the bridges must be qualified, must have experience, repairing bridges. Okay, so personal qualifications are very important. Okay, and then we have the implementation of a work plan that you're going to tell us in responding to RFP how you're going to do this. Okay, how are you going to do this? We say we want to repair bridges. How are you going to do this? Can you do it Monday to Friday? Do you work Saturdays? Do you work 6 to 5, 9 to 5? We want to have all those details from your proposal. Okay, how are you going to do this, right? Cost proposal, we usually require you to abide by a form that we provide for you to put down the cost proposal. Tell us how much it's going to cost us. Remember, the RFP responses are not based on cost. We don't award based on cost. An RFP is quality. So when you fill out your cost proposal, put out a true cost. Don't try to, like put it on the cheap or something like that. You won't be able to get a profit. So cost proposal is important, but put a true cost in your cost proposal, okay? We want you to submit it on a city form because we use it for comparison purposes. We look at all the RFP and look at the cost. It is not the only qualifier, but we look at the cost also on the RFP, all right? And then there's an MBE, WBE plan. Most of the cities' RFPs require you to have an MB, WBE plan, okay? Minority, woman, DBE, disability plan. In general, most of our RFP requires something between 20 and 25% MBE and WBE in general. But the specific proposal, RFP will tell you what we expect. So if you are a prime contractor, okay, you are awarded a contract under a process, we might require you in the contract to have a certain percentage of minority, women, or disabled, sometimes veterans, employed in that contract, okay, perform the contract, okay? I'm sorry?
Would that apply also for bids?
That applies for some bids. I'm not a bid expert, but I know some bids require that. But the RFPs generally require it. Some services, when we put out an RFP, I have no stated goals because they're so specific and so specialized that we don't require you to have minority, woman, or disabled. But in general, we require in most of our RFPs. Okay, I'm not sure about bids. I'll check that out for you. We also wanted financial statements. What does that mean? We want to have a record that usually 3 years record that you are financially stable. Okay? It's okay if you've been bankrupt. It's okay if there have been difficulties. But we want to see at least 3 years of financial statements. We don't specify what kind of financial statements because different businesses have different kind of financial statements. Sometimes we need, usually not tax return. We need your Dun & Bradstreet report. You need a sales ratio, income to outgo ratio, different forms of financial statements so we can determine, okay, that you're financially stable. Okay? For you to be able to do business with the city, you must be financially stable. Okay? We don't hold that against you, but we need you to see that you're able financially to handle the business with the city. Okay? So we need 3 years of financial statement. And then I'm on page 3 now on the top. I'm still on the top square where it says Online Economic Disclosure Statement. That's an EDS. What an EDS is, it tells us the ownership structure of your company. Okay? If you're owned by a parent company, we'd like to know. If you're owned by individual, we'd like to know. So anyone who owns more than 7.5% of your business must appear on your EDS, on your EDS form. Okay? So we have to know your financial structure of your company. Then there's legal actions. We'd like to know if you've been involved in legal action during the last 5 years. Okay? Any legal actions that you've been involved with that may affect your proposal. Okay? And then the insurance required, we also have a requirement for insurance in our proposal. Every single contract has different insurance requirement. The thing is that you don't need to have the insurance requirement when you submit your proposal. But if you awarded a contract, you have to have insurance as of day one. Okay? And what we normally require is for you to tell us that you'll be able to meet that insurance requirement. Okay? So when we put out the RFP, you respond to your proposal, and you tell us, okay, if I get this award, I will get this insurance. Okay? We tell you what the threshold are, and you tell us that you get this insurance if you get the award. So you're not obligated to get insurance until and if you get awarded a contract. Okay? Yes?
So the insurance company will give you a certificate of insurance?
We don't need to see a certificate of insurance as you apply. If you go through the process and you're awarded a contract, we send you a letter, okay, the city will award you this contract, then you're required to have an insurance.
Submit a COI?
No. Until you're awarded. If you're awarded, then you submit a COI. Okay? Good question. Okay. So yes, these are basically the proposal content, and we need all of them. And I can't emphasize enough of the cover letter because people take it lightly that just a cover letter. But most of the information that the procurement person who's going to work with you gets from a cover letter. Okay, contact information, telephone, email, best times, all that information has to be in a cover letter because that's the first document that the procurement person sees on anything they need. If you missed in a page, is something wrong, that's who they're going to contact. So the cover letter is very important. Okay. Next, there's an evaluation criteria. I'm a second square. Okay, so you see to me the RFP, you respond with your proposal. Okay, you go to a 3-phase evaluation. Okay, first phase, the procurement person look at your proposal and have a checklist. Make sure everything that is required is being submitted. Phase 1 evaluation process. Okay, procurement person have a checklist. They check to make sure that you've responded, you provided each document that is required. What document are those? Up there, proposal content, cover letter, executive summary, qualifications, cost proposal, okay? So the procurement person checks that you have all of the documents, okay? Then, if you pass phase 1, you go to phase 2. Phase 2 is when the evaluation committee actually sits down and reads your proposal, okay? We select evaluators from different departments with some expertise in the area, and the evaluation committee is going to read, rate, and discuss your proposal, okay? That's phase 2. If you got past phase 2, then you might be calling for phase 3. Phase 3, you come in for an oral presentation or demonstration, depending on the case, okay? Phase 1, checklist, you in. Phase 2, they read it and score it. And if you want the short list, want the finalists, you come to phase 3, they call you in, okay, come and tell us most about you, okay? 3-phase evaluation process, okay? Whatever, okay. Okay, that's the evaluation process. Tips for preparing RFP proposal. Okay, we can look at this now. It's good to read the entire proposal, okay? Because the information is throughout the proposal. There's a table of contents, and it's good to read everything from beginning to end. The first page, I'm on page 1. We tell you the purpose of the proposal, okay? Why is the city doing this? B on page 1 is going to be the most important information because all RFPs in the future, moving forward, are going to be electronically. They're going to be electronically, no more paper, and you have to respond electronically, okay, with internet access to the RFP, okay? On page 2, we define some specific terms to the particular RFP. Some of them are generic, but each RFP have that specific definitions. There might be term of art that are in the RFP itself. I'm sorry, on page 2? Page 2. Okay, that's with the definitions. Okay, you can stop me anytime, guys, if I'm going too fast. I want to explain something here. Okay. Page 2 of the RFP. I'm on the RFP now. Page 2 of the RFP tells you the definitions. And RFPs might have different definitions depending on the type of service that the city is trying to purchase, okay? Page 3 is giving you the background of the project, or this specific project, okay? Page 4 mentions scope of services, which is usually an exhibit that's attached to the RFP. The scope of services details exactly what the city is looking for, okay? So it's usually exhibit 1 on the RFP document. B on page 4 is the contract term. It tells you how long will the contract be awarded for. Should we win this contract? This is the term of the contract. They're usually a base term and they're optional years, okay? For this particular contract, there were 5 years base term and there were 3 additional extension options, okay? So you might be awarded a contract for 5 years, and then the city maybe making some adjustment, maybe writing the next RFP, might take a year or two. You might get option contracts, so your contract might end up running 7 or 8 years while the city gets to the next contracting level, okay? Okay, the general information guidelines, we spoke a little bit about this. Number 2, at the bottom of page 4, is the pre-proposal conference, and I always advise vendors to attend the pre-proposal conference because that's usually a free-for-all. You ask all the questions that you want, okay? You get to meet all the people in your field, and usually after the pre-proposal conference, we publish a Q&A, question and answers, for people who could not attend, so they can have all the questions that were asked and all the answers that were provided at the pre-proposal conference, okay? So it's a good thing to attend the pre-proposal conferences. Deadlines on page 5, the city in generally does not accept proposals after the due date. This paper will be obsolete because when the system becomes fully automated, it will cut off at a certain time. So you don't submit a proposal by a certain time, you won't be able to submit it at all. So it's very important to keep in mind the due date on proposals. Okay. On page 6, there's a general timetable of activities. It tells you when the city to issue it, and when it's a non-mandatory pre-proposal conference, when a question due. So after the pre-proposal conference, we give vendors about a week or so. If all the questions come up, okay, that did not come up, were not answered at the pre-proposal conference, you have time to submit it, okay? This one was April 24th, okay? So you submit your question after the proposal conference. If they were not answered, if you have additional questions, you submit that. And all the questions you have to submit it online, not via phone, and all the answers we provided, usually on an addendum to the RFP, because we want all the vendors to have the same answers. So we don't give you individual answers. You submit your questions online, and we'll respond to you with an addendum that lists all the questions and all the answers. Some questions tend to be technical in nature, so we have to find out from the department. Some questions tend to be legal in nature. We have to find out from the legal department. So we provide all the answers, same answers to everyone. So your questions do not get answered individually, but will get answered on an addendum, okay? On page 7, format of proposals, we're going to forget that one because we won't be accepting hard copies, okay, of proposal. Required contents, which we went over. Cover letter, and I want you to look at page 8, see the detail that must be included in the cover letter, because the cover letter tends to be an important part of the proposal, okay? Executive summary on page 8 at the bottom. On page 9, qualifications and company profile information. On page 10, I didn't speak about C on page 10, the capacity to perform city services. For you to respond to an RFP, you must have a capacity to provide the services that the city asks for, okay? If the city, in this case, wanted parking enforcement services, and you have a firm that has maybe 10 employees that do parking enforcement, and the city wants you to provide services for the entire city, you cannot respond to this because you don't have the capacity to provide the staff to do the whole city, okay? So you have to have the capacity to do the city project. Not just be qualified, but capacity. You must have the capacity to do the city project, okay? You need to have a business license or authority to do business in Illinois. In other words, you can be incorporated somewhere else, but you must be able to have do business in Illinois, okay? So you get a certificate from the Department of State of Illinois. You get your business certificate, okay? And that you have to do before you get awarded a contract, okay? We don't award you if you don't have a business certificate with the City of Chicago. Okay. Page 12, implementation management plan. This was pretty detailed. Depending on the services we're requesting, it might be more or less, but this took about 2 pages, so we'd like to know how you're going to do this. On page 14C on the top, we also need an organization chart, which is a chart of organization. You don't just want the narrative, we want to see it. President, VP, secretary, legal, we want to see the chart, an actual chart of the organization, okay? We require an actual chart. Daycare resources, it tells us what kind of staff you have, okay? That's on page 14. Cost proposal, we spoke about that before. We usually provide you with a form. It's uniform. You tell us what the costs are. At some RFP, it tells you exactly what we will pay for particular services, okay? But most of the time, we leave it up to you to provide the costs. We had an RFP recently for medical services for the city, and we told in the RFP, we say, well, we pay, for a physician, we pay $150 an hour. For a nurse, we pay $75 an hour. So some RFP will tell you what the city will pay. But most of the time, we look at what you propose and go from there. Page 15, we have financial statements. Okay.
You can find our courses online, and if you want to see the repeat of this one, you can go on YouTube. So you can catch something, want to hear it again in a clear fashion, you can go on YouTube, and it is there as when you walk out of this class. Okay?
All of the videos are on YouTube?
Yes.
And
Every one of the classes. So you would go to youtube.com/Chicago DPS, and then when in the search box you would put this title of this workshop, but any workshop you want to see,
okay.
you would put that title, and then all of the sessions that we have done, you would have that.
Okay.
Thank you. That's great.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
Yeah, if you shoot me an email, I can find something.
I will send you a note.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care. Thanks for coming.
Is there an opportunity to sit down with anybody from procurement to talk about contracts or anything like that?
You're welcome. Take care.
So the time, the email is the best way. And you can do as many emails, as much detail that you want. So other person email, they'll respond to you. Or I respond to you. Or I find out what it is to respond to you. But yeah.